Hello, 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 and welcome to Storytime with Joe. Hey, that right. Today we playing Cinders. Which is a visual novel, I believe. Visual novel adventure, visual novel. Published by Crunching Koalas. Developed by Cube. I really like Crunching Koalas as a name. They have published several other games, none of which I've played. And Cube have only developed this one for Xbox. So yes, this one it's a 4 to 5 hour completion. Interesting. So obviously doesn't have skip. But for some reason I just felt that Cinderella, which it is, I believe it is based off, would be quite a good what am I trying to say? Story to play, to read on Christmas Eve. So this came out on the 26th of August. It unfortunately got caught up in my backlog. It is apparently a mature take on Cinderella that is all about player choices and shaping the famous fairy tale in any way you like. Story about freedom, dreams, sisterhood, and finding your own happily ever after that might not exactly agree with the staid morals of classic fairy tales. Which is okay. So yes, just waiting for my player to catch up. So yes, we're going with the Christmas hat today because why not? Thank you for the hosts Alper Shliki, SK, Jess, and Dopey. Yeah, multiple endings, 120 decision points, and over 300 choices. Well, let us find our happily ever after then. I'm hoping that one playthrough fits tonight, and at some point I wanted to change my batteries, but unfortunately the other ones didn't charge, so because my charger became unplugged. So we're going to do the best we can. Rewards. Ooh. Oh, I like it when it's this is more like a telltale then. Okay, so there's let's definitely do less flash. We don't want flash, which is bad. So it does have autoplay, but obviously if the music is a little too loud, please do let me know. But for now, let's get started. So, I mean, Cinders could be Scottish. I think Cinders for now is just going to be a slightly different variation on Joe. I still can't believe I've been delaying this for so long. It makes me wonder, if I decided to act earlier, maybe things wouldn't be so broken between us. Maybe, with just a little effort, this family wouldn't fall apart like this. But I suppose it was easier to complain and do nothing, rather than to try and change things. Isn't it always? Oh god. Alright, hang on, my delivery's just here, hang on. Apologies for that. I realised last night I didn't have my traditional Christmas jelly sweets. Fruit jellies. So I had to order them. And luckily, if you order something at 2:30 in the morning on Amazon, it gets here by 8 p.m. the same day. So now Christmas is saved. Well, I don't have my jam tarts because I didn't have time to make them this morning, but I did donate blood. So yes. Sorry about that. Right. That should be it. And now, if you're sitting comfortably, I will get back to it. Once I've got my blanket the correct way round. There we go. But I suppose it was easier to complain and do nothing, rather than try to change things. Isn't it always? Tonight it's different. This is the night of change, the night when my plans finally take effect. I can hear my stepsisters talking in soft voices in the hall. I imagine they too won't get any sleep tonight. During the last few days, I've learned so much more about them, but can it erase all the years they tormented and humiliated me? So, playing Cinders is a bit like reading a book. However, you're often presented with a choice on what to say, think, or do. Your decisions will shape the story ahead. I don't know what to think about it. So, deserve a second chance. People deserve a second chance. You can't erase the past, that's for sure. But I know that sometimes we don't choose our fates. Were circumstances different, my stepsisters could be good people. We could be friends. Whatever happens, I hope they won't come into harm. They deserve another chance. Meanwhile, in the hallway. Okay. One's Gloria. On the right? I still can't believe she did it. I would never have suspected. Of course, because everyone is as dim-witted as you are and never does anything out of the ordinary or unexpected. Oh yes, I'm sure you were able to foresee what would happen. Did you see it in tea leaves or reading a children's book one afternoon while avoiding work and being useless as usual? I did entertain the thought that she might try to pull something off if you must know, but believe what you want. I don't care. I also suspected she might try to do something. She was so secretive and compliant at times that an explosion seemed inevitable. I just didn't expect she had it in her. Gloria, please, sometimes you sound like a cliché villain from a bad romance novel. Of course, if something isn't twisted, weird, or shocking, then you won't consider it. Not everyone is like you, Sophia. Fortunately so, just like not everyone tries to be a mirror image of their mother, down to mimicking her manner of speech. But you are not Camosa, remember. You do not lead, you follow, mindlessly. Shut up, you. Open up! Open up! Ooh! Hi, Delpy! Thanks for the cheer. And... oh, I already thanked you for the host earlier. Thank you for the cheer. Merry Christmas. Open up! Open up in the name of the prince! It's... oh crap, which one's which? It's him. Why do you have to come? And in the middle of the night? Well, the wonders never cease, just like your ridiculous cliché impersonations. There's no time for this now, though I'm sure Mother will deal with you later. I'll go summon her. You do that. Open up! I won't repeat myself. Mother! Oh, Sophia, don't stand like that. Open the door. Let this noisy man in. Yes, Mother. Ah, Captain, what brings you here at this time of night? Spare me those false pleasantries. You know why I'm here. Where is she? Things on mine. Very well. Sophia, go get Cinders here right away. Yes, Mother. Be quick about it, child. Captain, would you fancy some wine while we wait for my lazy stepdaughter? Don't push it. You know this is not a courtesy visit. I'm afraid a lot is going to change here tonight. So is this after the ball? The shoe thing, or? Assuming everyone knows the sort of the traditional Cinderella story. I'm not sure this hat was a good idea. It's making my head itchy. But I thought I would try and be Christmassy. Just try and get it off my forehead a little bit better. He's right. Nothing will ever be the same. Nothing. I must admit, I'm afraid of it too. Some independent woman I am. Cinders, Mother has summoned you. Move, you know she doesn't like to wait. Fine, I'm moving. Just give me a moment. Make sure it's quick. Cinders, can I ask you something? Yes, Sophia? This hose situation. What happened this evening and the guard bashing at our door and all? It's because of you, right? You planned it. How should I reply? I tell the truth? Yes, I guess so. I guess so. I definitely made it happen. Funny. It all started with my stepmother summoning me, just like now. Oh, back in time, 7 days earlier. Now we get the traditional story. What's a beautiful morning? Oh, what's a beautiful morning? It's a beautiful day. The last few days were all doom and gloom, rain and gloom, but here we are, summer in this forest. Yes, thank you for interrupting to tell me I can save the game. Wonderful. The sun sure is nice. It can get pretty cold in this room of mine. Although I don't feel so frisky right now. Oh, probably shouldn't have burned the midnight oil over a book. I did that too, but it was a really good book. And now I'm really reading a really silly book, which I want to get back to. Which I will do after we've had some story time. So, I'm thinking we can probably get through one playthrough. I would hope we could do that in 3 hours. We'll see. Probably shouldn't have burned the midnight oil over a book. And a silly one too. Adolescent girl, pretty and numb as a freshly cut flower, shows divine humility and courage while everyone treats her like a doormat. What's these things? It's like a girl can't aim for better than martyrdom. Funny though, if it's really that bad, why did I read it in the first place? Maybe something in it echoes a part of my own experience. I don't know, and I'm not going to spend the morning worrying about it. Of course, it isn't like I'll get to enjoy the day either. Lady Carmosa will certainly make sure that I have to do the worst chores. The old hag could use any of her servants, but no, she always sends me, just to rub in the humiliation. If only Father was still here. On a day like this, he would surely take me to the forest. We always went to the lake, the magical lake, as he called it, and left a loaf of bread under the tree. The old tree. What a pay tribute to the fairies. You never know when you might need their help. Good old man. He used to tell me stories about the little folk, even when I was far too old to believe in them. But enough daydreaming. Honestly, I talk to myself too often these days. It's only a moment before I start considering mice and sparrows my only friends, and we'll go frolicking and singing together. My future animal companions will have to wait though. I might get lonely sometimes, but not fast enough. Time to get up, Cinders. The day has only just started. Sorry, I'm down a pint of blood, and I was up late reading. So apologies for the yawns, I will try and stifle them. But to be fair, it's the night before Christmas. So it's okay if you get an early night, and if you just want to listen to the sound of my voice lulling you to sleep at 8:15 UK time. Though obviously if you're watching the VOD or this on YouTube later, then thank you, first of all, and also apologies if I made you fall asleep at 10 in the morning or whatever time it is there. But you never know what the future might bring. Ooh, I like her hair. Oh hey, Screamcord's awake today. Cinders! Hi, Alkesh. I still have some time before my dear sisters wake up. I could start my cleaning duties to have more time later, or I could try and finish that book I was reading last night. Or I could seize this opportunity to do sweet nothing. If you miss something important, you can rewind the game using LB and RB. You can't rewind past decisions or through other important moments, however. So if I accidentally skip a text, I can go back. It's not like I have time for myself very often. Okay. I'm going to read the book. Because that's what I would choose to do. And we get a bleep bloop. Cinders will remember this. Make that first crucial choice. I chose books. Because reading is important. Since my father's death, Carmosa and her daughters treat me as their servants. Cinders, do the cleaning. Oh, hang on. This is where my battery runs out. This action will have consequences. I have a t-shirt with that on. So, we're going to do a bit of a battery triage because my charger didn't charge. But we're going to hope that it's got enough charge in it to last a little longer, but we might do a little bit of piggybacking on stuff. There we go. People keep on paying money into my bank account. My grandpa paid some in earlier, and now my parents have just paid some in. Nice! Apparently it's Christmas! Or near now. Which means I'm going to buy some games and this and yes. So, Cinders do the cleaning. Cinders go to the town. Cinders, why isn't my dress washed yet? Wash it yourself. I'm sure today won't be any different. At least I still have my books to take me away from this. The one I read last night was pretty aggravating, but all romances are like that. I have some favourites. My sisters took most of my other things, all the dresses and trinkets. But luckily for me, books hold no value for such practically minded young ladies. I must admit though, I've read them all to death by now. Carmosa would never spend a penny on something so frivolous. So I'm stuck with what Father got me. Mostly fairy tales and legends he gave me when I was a child. I don't really believe in knights in shining armour or fairies anymore. It's a really long poking stick, like the one in Friends, where it reaches across between buildings. But yes, I hope everyone is keeping safe. I feel like I need to say, I believe in fairies, otherwise Tinkerbell will die. But I would be lying if I said I don't enjoy reading them. The one I'm reading right now, yet again, is about the Lady of the Lake. Sorcery, romance, adventure. I bet that even in 100 years it won't get old. Same thing as what I've read tonight, really, but good writing and characters make all the difference, so... Which chapter was it? Cinders, are you there? Cinders, where are you? Oh, I see you're reading again, not a big surprise. I'm sorry, but I have to drag you out of that little fantasy world of yours. Mother wishes to see you immediately. Did she tell you what she wants? No, of course not. Why would she? And why would I want to ask in the first place? She looked rather angry, though. That doesn't sound good. I hope I'm not in some kind of trouble again. I could have asked her, you know. I think you mistook me for one of those gentle, well-mannered noble girls who care about others. Sorry to break it for you, but I don't. If you're in trouble, that means I get a free pass today, so I'm rooting with all my heart, sis. This is Sophia. Maybe the prince can have a Scottish accent. My, aren't you one charming human being? Thank you. Now hurry up and let's go already. Oh, shut up. The scene transition-y thing's been a little bit like an Artifacts Indicate. I'm like, where? I'm gonna have to find like things hidden among the sunflowers. I used to play in this hall as a child, but this building isn't much of a home anymore with Father gone. Hermosa does her best to keep the residence in its former splendor, and I guess most would be fooled by it. But for me, this place feels like it's fading away. Oh, so you didn't get lost after all. I was starting to think that you couldn't find your way. But it seems you were just taking your precious time with no regard for the rest of us. You're as hopelessly irresponsible as that sister of mine. No wonder that mother can't count on anyone other than me in this house. This is Gloria. Don't tell me you got caught up daydreaming about some prince coming to save you. Reading, so not really. Not really. I'm not a little girl anymore, Gloria. I learned a long time ago that I can't rely on anybody but myself. No prince is going to magically appear and rescue me. My, you really are more intelligent than you look. You've already learned such a great life lesson at such a young age. I'm impressed. I suppose you have that much over Sophia at least. The stupid girl still clings to her childish fairy tales. Well, it's none of my business what she does in that empty mind of hers. There are more pressing issues at the moment. Specifically, Mother would like to speak with you. Hi, Paul. Yes, Mary Hatmas. She says she has a special job for you. No doubt something rudimentary enough. So you were sent here to fetch me then? Mother entrusts me with important tasks. Don't mistake me for being on your level. You wait here. I'll let her know that you finally rolled out of bed. Alright. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. The room feels empty again. Even Gloria's presence is better than nothing. Truthfully, I feel bad for her. I may be the servant around here, but her situation isn't that different from mine. Both Gloria and Sophia spend every waking moment doing Carmosa's bidding. Just because it's not scrubbing floors doesn't mean they're not servants too. So you're finally up, you lazy girl. Can't anyone in this house just do what is asked of them? I swear, you feeble-minded girls are going to be the death of me. This is Lady Carmosa. Bah, you've wasted too much of my time already. I have a job for you. Go into town and find the merchant Tobias. I need you to pay him for a certain service. I'm giving you 200 sovereigns exactly. Don't you dare lose them. You must be a fool to entrust you with this much money, but unfortunately, I have no one else to send. I have better plans for those two just daughters of mine. Now hurry up, child. Time is of the essence. Carmosa has been speaking to me this whole time, alternating between insults and orders. Do I really have to silently accept this? Ask. What surface? What exactly is the service you're paying for? Mind your own business, child. There's no need for you to know. Why can't any of you girls just obey me without asking such vacant questions? Now hurry up and go. Carmosa's even more angry than usual today. I wonder what set her off. I've never seen her this defensive. She must be hiding something. I suppose it could be worse. The trip to town isn't such a terrible thing. A beautiful day and a great excuse to get away from the house. I won't even get in trouble for leaving as quickly as I can. Besides, Tobias has always been nice to me, so I'll enjoy seeing him again. This could be a rather pleasant trip. Okay, so... apparently we can only go to the forest. Can't just progress to the town. I suppose I should be grateful. even though Carmosa practically kicked me out of the house, it's better than staying there. Yes. So, how is everyone? It's Christmas Eve, it's Thursday. It doesn't really feel like either. But, you know, I've got my Christmas jelly in the fridge. I've got pigs in blankets ready to cook. I've got my oversized tub of salted peanuts, and my jelly fruits have just arrived. So, you know, it's pretty organised anyway. I'm going to make roasties tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. And I've got a chicken roasted already that I will be eating instead of turkey because, well, chicken is just nicer. So yeah. All in all, it could be worse. I'm not sick this year. Or not travelling on public transport means that I haven't caught the flu, or a cold, or tonsillitis, which is nice. But it's something weird. Very weird. I also have a small panettone. I'm not sure I like panettone, but it was a gift, so I will try some. Everyone always obsesses about it, and it's like, it's this weird Italian cake bread thing with sultanas. But, you know, there's nothing in it I can't eat, so we'll see. I also got plenty of chocolate. I got my traditional Christmas chocolate orange, which is sitting under the tree. You know, as I said, it could be worse, can't complain. Gave blood today. I feel like that's pretty cool. Got my stack of biscuits and chocolate from the donation place. Usually I sit there and eat through like lots, but I didn't want to take my mask off this time, so I brought biscuits home. And the lady was like, "Oh, would you like these? These are my favourite." I just kept piling them on me, so I had a coat pocket full of biscuits, of which I've had one packet of custard creams and a Kit Kat. And I've still got my shortcake, bourbons, more custard creams, more Kit Kats and clubs. It's quite funny. I'm trying not to eat everything at once. I'm also going to make cauliflower cheese for tomorrow. And if there's enough room in the oven, I feel like maybe doing some little Yorkshire puddings. But I think my plate is going to be quite full. Hi, Dan! Your internet is being stinky. Oh no! Also, hi, Milo. Any other pets that may be watching right now? But yes, welcome to Storytime with Joe. This is Cinders, which is basically telling the story of Cinderella, but I'm in control. So, you know, we don't have to marry the stinky prince. If we don't want to. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe we can make friends with our stepsisters and live happily ever after. We will see. So I will continue with the story now I've finished making everyone hungry. It really is beautiful here, and it's a much needed break from that toxic house. The lake that my father took me to as a child isn't far away too. Also, if the music's too loud, do let me know, or if you can't hear the music, let me know. And I will try and do some silly accents at some point. I did really want to play Aneria Crimes, because I kind of want to do the other 3 cases, but I did promise Storytime as well, so we might do... maybe not a Christmas stream, because I seem to have committed to quite a lot of calls on Christmas, so I think I'm going to be a little bit exhausted. But maybe a Boxing Day stream and do Aneria Crimes and see if we can do those other cases. Then I can go through and figure out the rest. No, Cinders is not going to be Brummy because A, I have no idea what that sounds like, and B, even if I did know what that sounds like, there's no way I'm going to be consistent for the main character. Plus, you're late, Dan. So I've already established character voices for all the women. really miss our trips to the lake. It would be nice to visit it again, if only for the sake of memories. I wonder if I have enough time. Hermosa did tell me to hurry, after all. Oh, I'm totally going to the lake. Screw Hermosa. Hermosa will yell at me when I get back, no matter what I do. It's impossible to please them. Well then, I suppose a trip to the lake won't make a difference one way or another. It's been so long since my last visit, and I do miss it. I'll go. I'm glad I chose to come. This place is just as beautiful as it was when Father used to take me here. As a child, I knew that this place was magical, but I've outgrown fairy tales now. Still, there's something to this place. It feels enchanted, maybe because it hasn't changed a bit since I was a little brat. I remember that Father would always leave a gift for the fairies every time we visited. Maybe I should do the same. Oh, definitely leave a gift for the fairies. I wish I had brought something with me, but I don't really own anything that would make a proper gift anyway. Well, it's the intent behind the gift that matters more than the actual gift. As long as I'm honouring the fairies, they'll appreciate it. That's what Father would say. I guess he was a big child deep inside. I think I'll weave a wreath out of some of the flowers here. I'm sure the fairies would appreciate it. It's coming along nicer than I expected. It's been such a long time since I did anything like this, it feels a little nostalgic. It's funny how when we grow up we start rejecting the things we consider childish, only to return to them later with such great joy. I think I'll leave this wreath under that old oak. That's where Father always left our gifts when we came. I've spent too much time here already. I need to get back into town. Finally at the town. I should probably head straight to Tobias's shop. Strange. What's that crowd over there? Everyone seems to be surrounding that building. I wonder if someone around here can tell me what's going on. Excuse me, ma'am, could you tell me what the crowd is for? Oh, child, haven't you heard? A bunch of good-for-nothing thugs took their hideout there. Bastards kidnapped a child. I'm sure you know it's market day. A lot of folk come into town to trade their wares, but there's always the unwelcome element. You know what I mean? One of the merchants caught some ruffians red-handed stealing from him, like it's no one's business. So we naturally grabbed whatever pointy thing came in handy and made sure those lowlifes we know we don't take kindly to thieves in this town. But those scum grabbed the child and locked themselves up in that house. They're threatening to kill the brat if anyone tries to enter. That's horrible. Oh, the poor mother. Thank goodness some lads let his Paral, captain of the prince's guard, drinking in the inn. A few men went to fetch him from the tavern. He grabbed that blade of his and went into the house without saying a thing. I wish that good-for-nothing husband of mine would be so brave, but he's only good for drinking and complaining, I tell you. It's been silent like a graveyard in the night since the captain went in. Who knows what happened there? Oh, such awful times we live in. That truly is sad. Thank you for telling me. I hope that child doesn't get hurt. If the captain of the guard plans to fight, it's sure to be dangerous in there. Wait. Everyone stop talking. Did something happen? Someone is coming outside. Isn't that the captain of the guard? The child is safe now. Someone get rid of the bodies. Hurrah. Wow, did he just take care of an entire gang of bandits on his own? Ooh, can we run off with the captain of the guards? That would be more interesting than the prince. But to be fair, I think if we just ended up with no one and were happy on our own and led a contented life. I don't know, silly fairy tales, but hey. He just disappeared without waiting for any thanks, like he doesn't even care. What sort of man could do something so heroic and yet remain so emotionless about it? It looks like the child has been reunited with his mother. What a relief. Oh, I'm running late now. I better go see Tobias right away. Tobias's store is neat and well organised, as usual. From the look of things, he's been doing well for himself. I guess he was lucky those thieves didn't decide to rob this place instead of one of those poor merchants at the market. Oh, I like him. What's Tobias gonna sound like? Hey, welcome, Cinders. Is everything alright? You seem a little pale. I've just witnessed a terrible scene in the market. A group of brigands kidnapped a child and barricaded themselves in one of the houses. Heavens, did someone call the guards? Luckily, the captain was nearby and resolved the situation quickly with his sword. As messy as it may seem, that is his job. Glad to hear everyone's alright. Not everyone. He killed all those men. I don't know how to feel about it. You always had a gentle heart, Cinders. Have you missed it? Well, it's been too long since you last stopped by, that's for sure. How have you been? Much the same. Hermosa works me to the bone every day, and there are times when I wish I could just disappear. But I manage, and there are days that make me happy. Like today. I'm so glad to see you again, Tobias. It looks like your shop is flourishing. It goes well enough. I hope you know that you can come speak to me anytime you want. Yes. We used to spend so much time together when we were teenagers. Now that we're adults, it seems like we hardly even catch a glimpse of each other. It's really a shame. You're right. It feels like childhood friendships disappear once you mature. It's hard to keep them alive sometimes, even when you have the best of intentions. How long has that just been stable? I assume you didn't come here just to remember the old days. Sadly, no. I'm on an errand for Hermosa. I'm here to pay you for... well, whatever it is she asked for. She's being very secretive about the whole thing. Oh, that? Now I'm even more curious about this errand. I'm totally asking you. So, what exactly did Hermosa ask you to do anyway? It sounds mysterious. I'm afraid I can't tell you. Why not? Well, I promised Hermosa that I wouldn't tell anyone. I'd like to keep my word. Also, it's basic business ethics. Okay, he's my friend, so I understand. I understand. You gave your word. I shouldn't force you to break it, even though Hermosa doesn't deserve such fair treatment. I'm glad you understand, Cinders. I really wish I could tell you, but keeping the job a secret was part of our agreement. Reputation as a merchant is at stake here, after all. Don't worry, Tobias. I won't do anything to make you ruin your reputation. Anyway, Hermosa said I was supposed to give you some money for this job. That's true, but I'm surprised she would send you to pay for it. She said something about not having a choice. How much does she owe you? Around 200 sovereigns, I'd say. Just an estimate? That means Hermosa and Tobias haven't agreed on a set price. I could negotiate a discount. I might get in Hermosa's good graces. Or I just might get some money for myself. I'm just gonna let him have the full price because he deserves the money. Well, I have precisely 200 sovereigns, so I suppose that's perfect. Thank you. I confess, I'm glad Hermosa sent you. She would have undoubtedly tried to haggle the price down. See? Friendship. We like him, not Hermosa. Oh, well, was I supposed to haggle with you? It's not a bad thing that I didn't, is it? Of course, it's not a bad thing. It just shows how different you are from Hermosa. You're a very selfless person. It's a very rare and beautiful trait these days. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that Hermosa sent you. It's a pleasure to do business with you, and I'm happy that I got to see you again. Likewise. I do really miss seeing you, Tobias. I hope you come again soon. I'll do my best. Phone keeps on buzzing. People keep on liking my tweet. Oh yeah, so I should probably just do one last pimp for the year. So my Extra Life campaign with the earnings from Twitch for this year as well, and also a little bit of mixer awards. I've raised $1,700, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Smashed my target. Possibly going to have to set a new target for next year. But yeah, there's still time to donate if you want to until the end of the year. Then there'll be a new campaign, but if you want to donate to this one, then you know, there we go. I'm gonna pimp. Oh, and I almost forgot. What is it? Please tell Camosa that I'll fulfill my part of the deal soon, and she should expect my representative to come by sometime tonight. Sure, I'll let her know. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I had no idea you have your representatives nowadays. It comes with the trade, I guess. Start throwing coin around and suddenly you find yourself surrounded with people eager to run errands for you. What are you saying? I thought it had more to do with your magnetic personality. I used to be magnetic, but it made trading in metalware much too risky for me, so I stopped. God! Where's Ross to make the puns? Though people do tend to underestimate the pain caused by fast-flying power. There was a time in my life when I was forced to eat with my hands, but I prefer not to speak about it. Oh, I've missed our talks, Tobias. Me too, Cinders. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. I hope so. Take care, friends. Way! Thanks for the host, Paul, Scruff, Ima, and Jesse. I'm guessing Reese has finished streaming. You have. And also hi, Reese. I really miss the old days when Tobias and I played together. I'm so glad I can see him again. Alright, branch. Cool. Oh, sorry about the yawning. Some tea. Good boy. I stole your hair idea, Reese. Though mine is not as luxurious as yours looked. And I think I split a seam somewhere because of my big head. Well, I don't have any more reason to stick around, so I suppose I should go back now. Oh, Dan's online again. Also, hi Ross! I was just talking about you. There's a guy making puns about his magnetic personality and how he couldn't work around metal anymore. It made me think of you. You live! Also, hi Leaky! Oh, yours is very tight to your head too. Well, mine was making my forehead itch, so I pushed it back a bit, which just illustrates why I should never wear hats, because it always makes me look really weird. But it's Christmas, so, you know. Yes. The journey back to my house was much too short. Have you checked under your bed, on the dog, in the back of your wardrobe, in the cupboard with the sugar, and in that one box that you put somewhere safe? Those are good places for a Santa hat. I'm not looking forward to facing Carmosa or my sisters again. At least they got a rare reprieve from their insults today. I wish it had lasted longer. I'm terribly late. Carmosa told me to hurry back and it's nearly nightfall. I'm sure she'll skin me alive. Cinders, do you have any idea what time it is, you useless girl? Where have you been all this time? I'm going to apologize. Because there's no reason to be rude, even if she is rude. I apologise. There was a lot of commotion in town and I sort of got caught up in it. Enough with your excuses. They make you look so... Well, maybe I should have just been rude. Can't win, I think, is the answer here. They make you look so pathetic. If you chose to ignore my orders, at least have the pride to stand by your decision instead of simpering like that. Child you once were is gone. You must be a woman now. Have more pride in yourself. Otherwise, you are nothing more than a lazy and useless girl. At least you managed to finish the task appointed to you, though. I take little solace in that. Is it too much to hope that you managed to keep some of the money I gave to you? Well, he said the price was 200 gold, so that's what I paid him. Why am I not surprised? I suppose it is foolish to expect more from a girl as disjointed from reality as you. What are you talking about? You never take the first offer. Anyone who conducts business, no, anyone in their right mind knows that. But Tobias is my friend. He would not... Enough. I am not interested in your excuses. What a disaster. You are more useless than I could have imagined. If I stopped feeding you, it would be exactly what you deserved. But I suppose I would be arrested for petty crime if I did that. Would I? You managed to tweet your going live post for the wrong account. Oh dear. Oh dear. Sometimes I just forget to post it completely. I did ask if anyone thought the music was too loud. I was just thinking that myself though when it went really loud there. I will nip it down a little bit. I thought it would be leaky, sorry about that. I'm a pro strimmer. I did a sound test before. I just didn't realise there was no volume control on this. If there had been a volume control on the game, I would have turned it down in there. But there isn't, so I had to turn it down on the OBS thing. Well, exactly. I've missed the people that tell me about sound. Hopefully it's not been drowning me. Die. Silence, get out of my sight. Just looking at you makes me ill. You will go to your room and you will stay there until you are summoned. Is that clear? Oh, sorry, Leaky. Oh, good, Scarf. Good. Yes. Oh, hello. Meanwhile... My lord, I've been told you wanted to see me. I feel like he should be posh, not Scottish. Maybe I should have made Tobias Scottish. I have been informed of a hostage situation at the marketplace today. I also heard that you handled the situation rather admirably. For that, I commend you. Thank you, my lord. The truth is I regret having to kill so many men. They couldn't even put up a fight. Such is the burden of those in positions of power. You must make difficult decisions for the sake of protecting others. It is not a choice, but a duty. And you performed your duty to perfection. You honor me with your words, my lord. You deserve it. After all, my father, your king, has always spoken well of you. I know even he considers you a friend. Enjoy your Christmas movies, Reese. If the king spoke so, I am honoured by such confidence. Truly, what do you think of my father? How was it to serve under him? The king was a wise, and skillful and strong leader. I would have followed him anywhere. Misread car as cat, wondered what you were using the cat for, and yes, agree that that's a good idea. Or you could save it till New Year's Eve. You know, Overcooked is always improved with wine and vodka and whatever the hell Scruff got up to last time. You usually have a good rum, don't you, Scruff? This is what I've heard from everyone who knew him. Already I fade in comparison. My friends. I have not yet been crowned, as father's last wish was that I should find a wife first. Oh, peach schnapps! Peach schnapps! It's my favourite. Peach schnapps and lemonade if you have it. No doubt he wished that I would find someone capable of ruling by my side. Of course, every noble in the land is eagerly pushing an eligible daughter towards me. I need a strong woman I can rely on, a queen who can support my agenda no matter how hard it's going to be. I am a simple warrior, my lord. I know very little of romance and politics. Nonsense! My father trusted you in more matters than war, and I too am willing to do that. Okay, peach schnapps and lemonade it is then. You have more choices than I have. Like, yeah, I've got 2 varieties of vodka. One's raspberry and one's just normal vodka. And I've got peach juice, which I'm going to have with it. But not tonight. Mainly because I just gave blood and you're not supposed to have alcohol for 24 hours. And also because I'm doing story time. But yeah, I think I might have some schnapps. Ooh, arches and lemonade. Girls drink. Oh, right. I didn't know drinks had genders. Just love arches and lemonade. And then, my friend worked in a pub, so I then ended up with like a pint of arches and lemonade that was half arches. And I got a little desensitized after that. I love arches and lemonade. But it doesn't make me drunk. Or it probably will do now, but yeah. It's good with a bit of vodka in it. Arches and vodka and orange juice is nice. That's why I have peach juice with my vodka. But yeah, it's quite sweet, which is why I quite like having it with lemonade arches. So it sort of counteracts a little bit. Nah, it's just those dudes that, you know, don't want to admit that they like a cocktail, so therefore tease people about it, and don't realise how boring it is. I can't stand beer. I've worn it too many times working in various pubs. It just smells disgusting. And I don't like wine because reasons. I cook with it. That's it. So, vodka it is. Or a tequila, but only the good stuff. Anyway, stop talking about alcohol, Joe. Bad influence. Bad influence. Nonsense. My father trusted you more matters than war, and I too am willing to do that. Please advise me, not as the captain of the guard, but as my friend. But I confess, even my own palace is not a safe place for discussing such delicate matters. Indeed. Indeed, Leaky. Be safe. Be sensible. The walls have ears, and I would not wish my search for a wife to become any more public than it already is. Might we go hunting together tomorrow morning? I think we would find the forest a safer place for discussion. No, each to their own, Alkash. Each to their own. Just because we don't like something doesn't mean because you like it, you are boring. If everyone were the same, the world would be a boring place. So with everyone being different, it is more exciting. That's what I have to say about that. I really want to open my fruit jellies. I also got some marzipan with raspberry jelly and orange liqueur that I thought would be interesting. Again, why one shouldn't shop for sweets at 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, you can get them on Amazon. They have various things, but I went with the raspberry and the orange because I love raspberry. I will let you know how they are. I can tell you what brand it was. And then you can go look them up yourself. So, ooh, crap. They are Anthon Berg. Anthon is Anthon. And then Berg is Berg. Marzipan covered in dark chocolate, raspberry and orange liqueur. They also have apricot and brandy, or cherry and rum, which might be more to your liking. No, not sponsored. Not at all. Just happened to buy some last night, along with some York fruit jellies. Because the Newbury fruits, they don't have the Newbury fruits that I like anymore. Or the ones with the little hard gems inside. I think I got them from Waitrose a couple of years ago. But Amazon at 2:30 in the morning, they had York fruits, so we went with York fruits. Oh, you've seen it before? Well, I'm not a huge fan of dark chocolate unless it's in small bits. And covered in marzipan. Oh, you've recognised the packaging. Yeah, cool, so you found it. Good. No affiliate link. No, I don't have any affiliate links, just everyone should just look it up. Also, why do I have 2 messages? Oh, they've got blueberry and vodka. I mean, you know, I would have thought you'd like the cherry and the rum one. I don't like blueberries, so I'm okay with that. You love blueberries. I think they're slightly too bitter, the skin. Like, given the choice between like a raspberry and a blueberry muffin, I will always pick the raspberry. Sworn off vodka. Oh, you drink cranberry juice. Oh, I'm sorry. Bitter. Bitter is not my favourite flavour. Sour, yes, not bitter. And I find cranberries quite bitter. I bet you like grapefruit as well. No, I've drunk cranberry juice. but it's not my favorite. It's one of those things, like, it's a last resort if it's there and I'm dying of thirst. But yeah, it's that, you get sort of like a taste. Like it, yeah. Oh, I don't think I've ever actually had grapefruit juice. I'm talking about, like, I'm just thinking of those, like, big juicy grapefruits. But yeah, like cranberry juice, my mum used to drink it. But yeah, it always makes my mouth feel like someone's coated it in something. It's really weird. But yeah, big fan of raspberries. That's got a tang. A bit of a tang. Making myself hungry now, and I've just eaten a ginormous portion of chicken and a roast potato. Yes! Exactly, Jessie. That's the... Yeah. Dry. Yeah, it makes your mouth feel really dry. Also, hi, Jessie. We're talking about food again. Because we always do. Hey, Dopey is still around. Awesome. I really need to sort out badges for the bit donations. Apparently hunting and going to the forest is dangerous? Okay. Such action is dangerous, my lord, if something were to happen to you. There is no one to succeed you on the throne. Is that so? I cannot imagine anything safer than having the famous captain of the guard by my side. If that is what you wish, my lord. That is indeed what I wish. You can go now, friend. My prince. Good old Perrault, brave captain of the guard, first sword of the kingdom, veteran of the renegade war. Reduced to killing common thugs and guarding market stalls. Not yet aware of how obsolete his role is. There are different times that require a new kind of bravery and power. Our wars will not be fought using iron and fire, but gold and lies. Lies. Prince Basil. Prince Basil. I hope you can adapt to these new times, my poor old friend. As when I become the king and start realizing my plans, goodness knows I'm going to need someone like you. No, I don't know whether he's devious or what here. Later that night. Finally, I have some time to myself after doing Carmosa's bidding all day. Still, it could have been worse. Carmosa was furious and I got nothing but cold scraps for dinner. But at least I was able to get away from the house for most of the day. I always love going into town. I can't believe how exhausted I am after today, though. My feet ache and I feel so sleepy. I should go to bed. Carmosa certainly won't allow me to sleep in tomorrow. Was that someone knocking at the door? Why would someone be visiting us at such a late hour? Silence. I paid you for your discretion, yet you pound on the front door as if it's a war drum. Right, pardon, Mum. I swear I'll be as silent as the tombs are right away. Mum's the word. Enough with your nonsense. The package is ready to go. Can I trust you? Oi, you ruined my pride, madam. I'm much more trustworthy than an old priest in a confessional. Such an utterance is of little comfort to me. No one can escape Carmosa's biting tongue. Now prove there is some value to your words and go before someone sees you. I think he's gone. What's all that about? I don't know if it's Carmosa trying to hide. Maybe I should sneak out the window and try and follow him. He might be gone far. If I leave now, I'm sure I can catch up with him. No, that's crazy. I can't do that. Oh no, we're totally following the mysterious visitor. It must be crazy, but this might be my only chance. How long have I waited here, wishing for a change? Finally, an opportunity has presented itself. Hermosa clearly has a secret. If I could figure it out, I might have an advantage over her. No one is outside the window. Now is as good a time as ever. Here goes nothing. Well, now what? I tried to keep my distance while following that man, and now I've lost his trail completely. He's somewhere up ahead. I'll really have to hurry to catch up with him. But if I accidentally pass him, then I run the risk of running into him when I return home.
Oh, of course these demonic excuses for plans. The way you scratch the filler, you're more like wildcats than shrubs.
That must be him. He's close, I better hide.
Oh, blasted rocks, what they doing in my path? You think they'd clear out this place, accountant? A fella can't see a thing in the dark. It's not proper, I tell you. Well, I'm sure this be the place where I'm scheduled to meet that smart-ass merchant. Smart-ass or not, and be more careful when talking about the man who pays you. Oi, boss. I was just talking a little to myself. No harm meant, you know. Truly. I suppose I can let this one go if you brought the package as discreetly as Lady Carmosa requested. Of course. No ifs about it, boss. It wounds my honour that you doubt my competence for even a moment. No, I'd never doubt you. Now hand it over. Before I do, boss, I have a little something I'm needing to ask you. What would that be? You know I'm an honest man, but my curiosity took hold of me hard, so I had to have a look inside this package. And lo and behold, my eye spies a mighty fine necklace set with rubies and made of gold. It's worth thousands of sovereigns at least, you know? Nope. Look away, Scruff. I specifically instructed you not to look inside. But the necklace? Yes, it's probably worth quite a lot of money. I don't get it, boss. Why is the noble lady paying us to take this off her hands? Seems all wrong ways around to me. I'm sure she has her reasons. You're not being paid to poke around and ask needless questions. In fact, if you don't keep your mouth shut, you won't be paid at all. Whoa, boss, no need to get so angry. My mouth is as secure as the royal treasury it is. I doubt the contents are quite as valuable, since you've completed your task, so here's your pay. 15 sovereigns. Try not to drink it all at once. Me? Never. You ruined me with your accusations, boss. I'm sure. Well, we should return to town before someone stumbled upon us. What on earth is Tobias up to? Never mind that. If I don't do something, they'll leave before I can do anything. Now I'm at my only chance to confront him, but I probably shouldn't act too impulsively. No, go back home. You're dangerous. I think I've seen enough. I better get back before they catch me or someone finds me missing. I'll talk to Tobias about this later, after I've had some time to think about it. It's best to speak with him alone, anyway. In the morning! Oi, what a night. Maybe boss was right when he said not to drink away my pay in one go. Dan really having internet troubles. He keeps on bouncing on and off. Still, can't say it wasn't worth it for how great last night was. Wait, what exactly happened last night? How did I even land up here? The deer went this way, my lord! Oi, someone's coming. Better lay low for a mite. Hurry before it gets away. Forget the deer, Captain. There are more important matters at hand. If this is about what you asked yesterday, my lord, I know little of politics or affairs of the court. That's exactly where I need you. You're straightforward and honest, and you see things I can't. Behind all those smiles, everyone in court lies to me. No, you're the only man I can trust. I will serve you to the best of my ability. What is it you wish to discuss? It's about my father's last wish. I must have a wife before I ascend to the throne. How am I to choose one? There's a ball in a few days. Isn't that your chance to find an eligible young lady? In theory, but that's the problem. How will I be able to tell? The monarchy is weak without a king, and the nobles around me are plotting to advance themselves. They groom their daughters like Christ's spaniels in the hope that I'll be taken in by a pretty face. I need a wife who is strong and smart, someone who can rule the kingdom wisely, not feed me her father's poisonous words. But I doubt that I'll ever find such a woman.
I've no doubt such women exist, my lord. You should not give up so easily.
You're right, Captain. It's just that I haven't had the fortune to meet one yet. I'm surrounded by women who know little more than how to curtsy. And they do little more than wait to be handed out as political tokens. Truly, it is disheartening.
And yet you must choose a wife from among the nobility regardless. It is, after all, tradition.
As if tradition mattered to that brood of vipers, they plot to control the throne before it is even in my grasp. If I marry to please a powerful house, I risk having a fool for a wife. What other choice do I have?
If we respected the traditions to the fullest, you'd be able to choose any woman at the ball, even someone you didn't know. How convenient that this rule is often...
Hang on, which one's talking?
Often forgotten.
Huh. Someone I didn't know? Captain, you're brilliant. It's perfect.
I'm not sure I follow your thinking, my lord.
A masquerade ball. I'll be able to choose from the women without discriminating over looks or political ties. They've been pushing me to follow tradition for so long, they can't complain if I remember the old rules. Captain, you truly are a remarkable man. I see now why Father trusted you so much.
Oh, of course, my lord. Well, it's always an honour to be of service.
Thank you so much, my friend. You are a rare breed instead. Indeed, still faithful to your ideas.
Ideals, oh lord. Our prayers long since escaped us, and if we linger any longer, people might grow suspicious.
You're right, my friend. Let us return to the castle with all haste. Now that I have a solution in mind, I can return with a light heart. Well, that's a bit of juicy gossip you don't hear every day. A masquerade ball, huh? I know a certain lady who would pay handsomely for this information, she would. The day may have started lousy after all last night's drinking, but it's turned out to be quite a good one after all. All thanks to a few extra rounds at the pub. You can't go wrong with that. Ooh, there we go. It said yawn, so I did. What time is it? The sun is already so high in the sky, I must have slept in. Considering how long I spent outside last night, that's hardly a surprise. I'm still not sure what to think about what happened. I want to trust Tobias, but at least it's something different from the usual. It's strange how my life has been so boring all of this time, and then suddenly all these things are happening to me. But even stranger than that, I wonder why no one has come to wake me up yet. It must be noon, if not later. Surely Carmos hasn't decided to be gracious and grant me a holiday. I want none of your pitiful excuses. Uh-oh, Carmos was definitely not in a gracious mood. I should get going and see what's going before she catches me like this. Everyone is here. You're an even bigger disappointment than usual. Looks like Carmos is mad at Gloria today. I wonder why. Hey, Sophia. Cinders not so loud. I don't want to get into trouble or miss any of this. What's going on? Business as usual. Mother's in a bit of a bad mood and Gloria was the nearest thing she could yell at. I'm not interested in your excuses. It's your duty to make sure there's enough wood for the fireplace. If the servant is allegedly ill, then find someone else to do it. Do it yourself if you have to.
I'm sorry, Mother. I understand.
If you truly understood, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. But I am wasting my breath. I can only hope that you've learned your lesson and this won't happen again. It seems that I can't trust you girls with even the smallest of tasks. I wish that one of you would finally take charge of things.
Yes,
Well, don't just say yes. Prove your worth by taking action. Make sure dinner is ready in 2 hours. I expect the wood to be chopped by then as well.
Don't worry, Mother, I will. Cinders, Sophia, why were you two wasting your time eavesdropping instead of being useful? It's not a waste to watch the mighty all-knowing Gloria get scolded by Mum.
Oh, watch this. You usually have such a sharp reply, but now you can't think of anything to say. Whatever happened to the perfect, glorious, outspoken Gloria? One scolding from Mum, is that all it takes to shut you up?
I don't have time to deal with your childish jealousy right now, but watch your tongue. It'll certainly get you into trouble someday. Anyway, you two heard, Mother. Dinner must be ready in 2 hours, so go get started.
What? Why do we have to get dinner ready?
Because I'll be busy taking care of Mother's other needs, like getting the wood chopped.
If you'd rather not, I can always tell Mother you refuse to obey her orders.
Fine, I'll do it. Just pray that your food isn't poisoned. Ha! As if you'd have the guts to do something, little sister. Now, if you excuse me, I have duties to attend to.
Well, it looks like I'm stuck working with you, Cinders.
Wow, you really told her off. Nicely done.
Of course I did. It's nice to see Gloria get a taste of her own poison once in a while. It's even nicer to see her at a loss for words.
You really hate her, don't you?
Never thought about it before, but I guess I do. Gloria was always cruel to me. She keeps trying to be like Mum, and she thinks Mum will acknowledge her if she keeps putting me down. Well, things haven't been as bad ever since you came along. You're getting the brunt of it now. But yes, I hate her. I didn't always hate her, but I definitely do now.
At least you got a Jew this time. She might become Osa's favourite, but we're the ones on top for now.
True. I don't feel that great about it. Well, that's not important. If we don't finish dinner on time, we won't be on top for much longer.
It'd be nice having someone helping with dinner for once.
Hurry up and take out all the ingredients we're going to need.
Why me?
Isn't it obvious? I hardly step foot in the place, so naturally I don't know what anything is.
Naturally. That doesn't mean you can't help with the preparation, though.
I don't really have a choice in the matter, do I? There's no way you can prepare dinner in 2 hours alone. You're in as much trouble as you if it's not done. Mother isn't forgiving towards anyone.
I figured out that much myself. Now here are all the ingredients.
Yuck. The stench is unbelievable. Are they rotting or something?
No, this is just how vegetables smell. They do grow in the soil, you know.
Sure, but I can't believe you actually live with this odour. I bet sometimes you must feel like a rather large carrot yourself, or a beetroot, maybe.
That's very funny, Sophia. Besides, it wasn't exactly my own choice to move in here. I used to have a proper bedroom before Gloria took it.
Of course, how could I forget? Still, you should be grateful. They say that harsh conditions help to build character. You're bound to become a diamond here while poor Gloria suffers with every passing hour.
Can't you give me a break for once? If that's how it's going to look, I prefer to risk Carmosa's anger and prepare the dinner alone.
Oh, fine, don't be so uptight, sis. One Gloria in this house is one too many. So, what was it like before we moved in with you, anyway?
Hello. Do you really want to know?
Of course. We've got to talk about something, or else it'll be awfully dull in here.
You can't just admit that you're actually interested in my life.
Well, if you must know, the moment we started talking, I decided it's better to imagine you're a character from some bad romance novel. It's much less personal like that.
You're such a darling sometimes.
I know, right? I might not be the worst or best in the family, but you can't accuse me of lacking creativity. But let's get back to that book you're in. Well, life was different when Father was still alive, more carefree, although I suppose that's how childhood is. Father had a way with kids. I think he was rather a big child himself, always dreaming. I loved it back then. See, and how do you feel about it now? It was great. It was fantastic. I loved it all so much. Everything was so magical. He tried so very hard to keep the worries of life away from me. It was like living in a fairy tale. Demons. I used to worry what having a proper father would be like, but I think I'm all cured now. Sounds like keeping in touch with reality wasn't exactly his forte. That may be, but I was just a kid with a happy childhood. There are some dreams you just don't want to wake up from. What about your mother? Do you remember her? Unfortunately, she passed away giving birth to me. I still feel guilty about it, even though I know it doesn't make any sense. Father told me a lot about her, but I don't really know if that's how she was or just an idealised image. Either way, I know that her death had a huge impact on him. I think he was very lonely. Perhaps that's why he preferred to get lost in his dreams rather than face real life. I'm sure it got even worse after we came into your life, huh? Ugh, this onion is making my eyes wet. Give that to me, I'll chop it. You rinse the knife first, it shouldn't sting that much. As for you, I'd say my life was definitely different after you came in. Oh, just be honest, I know your life has been miserable ever since your father married our lovely mother. Trust me, it's not like Gloria and I wanted this either, and yet here we are, one big happy family. You can be awfully cynical at times. Oh, you noticed? Fine then, yes, my life got worse when you showed up. I'm a servant, no, a slave in my own house. Not like you'd understand. Yes, what do I possibly know about it? Stupid onion. It sounds to me like it's your turn to talk about your life. Well, there's not much to say. That can't be true. It's obvious that a lot happened to you and Gloria. You wouldn't be like this otherwise. Besides, you said you wanted a conversation, so tell me about yourself. Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you. When we were children, we lived out in the countryside. Our house wasn't as nice as this one, though. Our father was a military man. He got himself killed in some war, and that left Mother a widow. I'm so sorry. Don't be. I hardly even saw the man. When he was around, he was like a complete stranger, not a proper father at all. His death meant nothing to us. What about Camosa? It must have affected her. Maybe that's why she's the way she is now. Ha! Was that meant to be a joke? Mother didn't care about him any more than we did. And why did she marry him? Well, why does anyone get married? Many reasons. There are lots of reasons for people to get married. I don't think I can give one solid answer. Some do it to attain a high status or more riches. It's also a way to ensure you aren't alone when you are old. And sometimes love, or at least a mutual respect, plays a role too. You're right. For instance, an ugly girl like me would only attract men looking for status. They would try to climb the social ladder, using my back for rungs. It was the opposite with Mother. She used her looks to attract a man of higher social standing. She had a penchant for melodrama, you could say she climbed his dead body to be where she is now. Carmosa comes from a poor family. They had a title of nobility, but they'd lost most of their riches and splendour. The only way for her to advance up the social ladder was to marry, and she was ambitious. She married an officer who was relatively rich and had a lot of accolades. She probably planned ahead even there. For all I know, she planned to chase a man who would probably die in battle so she could marry even higher later. How can you say that? That's just a cruel assumption. Cruel? It's not like she liked him. He would have died anyway. She just wanted something more out of life. It's still a cold thing to do. Still a cold thing to do. Oops, wrong button. Cold? Sure, it's cold. It's business. I don't see what's wrong with it. Mother's not dumb. She did what she had to. There's not much room in this world for women with ambitions, so you take what you can get. So back then, was your life as bad as it is now? Worse. What? How so? Well, you weren't around. Listen, if you're not around, then who do you think becomes the victim? Mother's always needed a scapegoat, and Gloria would do anything to please that woman. I'm not as pretty, smart, or ambitious as them, so naturally she humiliated me and Mum didn't disapprove. Yeah, I'm start to fall asleep if I'm not careful. Or I may actually have fallen asleep. Apologies if I did. I don't have the heating on. I thought if I have a slight chill, I won't fall asleep. But apparently, yeah, I just chugged the rest of my tea. Not that the caffeine will make any difference. But next time someone tells me to hydrate, I need to make some more. But I'll try and do this little bit of story. I'm feeling that at this pace, we're possibly not going to get through it all tonight. We'll see. If people are enjoying it, I can continue it later. But now that I'm here, they no longer target you, is that it? That's exactly it. Mom and Gloria have a new scapegoat and my life is finally a little bit better. Oh, I see. So now that you're no longer tormented, you choose to torment me instead. Of course, nothing personal, but it's either me or you, and I certainly won't be a victim again. Besides, you should be grateful. Didn't your father shield you from the real world too much? Well, now you get to see exactly what it's like. That's the way of all things. You're either the hunter or the prey. And as long as Mother and Gloria focus on you, I can go back to being my own worthless self. Oh, okay. You're not worthless. Just listen to yourself. You're not worthless, ugly, stupid, or even cruel. My, and what has made you an expert all of a sudden? That's ridiculous. It's obvious the person you hate the most is yourself. You have no reason to. So you make up all these excuses like you're too stupid or ugly or worthless when you know that's not true. But it's still an easy way out, isn't it? You prefer to convince yourself you're nothing so that no one will expect anything more from you. You don't have to change or do anything if you're worthless after all. And you sound like you're trying to convince yourself that you're all-knowing. You're not worthless, Sophia. You know that. It's almost endearing how hard you try and see good in other people, but you're just being naive. It's not naive at all. I was paying attention when you were talking and I learned something important. You think you're worthless because you can't measure up to Carmosa or Gloria, but it's the opposite. Carmosa is a woman of strong influence. It's easy to get drawn in and conform to what she wants. The fact that you've resisted means that you're stronger than Gloria. It means you're stronger than Carmosa. I'm sorry you had to suffer for it, but that makes you even more admirable. You really had it rough. I know that left a mark on you, but it doesn't make you worthless. You know, I don't need your pity. Trust me, that's the last thing on my mind. You've still been absolutely horrid to me. But now that I know what happened to you, well, I just wish that you knew better. I've had enough of this. I've done enough work. You can handle the rest of dinner, can't you? Well, you don't really have a choice. I'm leaving. Fine, have it your way. For a girl who wastes her life away in the kitchen dreaming of better days, you sure can be self-righteous. And for a girl so cynical and angry with the world, you sure look a lot like a self-made victim. Then I suppose the entire conversation between us was pointless. Good luck with dinner. What is wrong with her? I can't believe we actually had that conversation. That was definitely unexpected. I think I need some time to think it over. The meal is nearly done anyway. All that's left is to get one of the servants to cook the rest right before it is served. I really need to get out and gather my thoughts. Everyone is busy, so I'm sure no one will notice if I sneak out. The main hallway is empty, no surprise there. As I thought, everyone is busy right now. I don't have much time before dinner, but I'm sure I could sneak out and be back in time. All that talk about my mother reminded me I haven't been to her grave in a long time.
Might be dangerous to sneak out during the day, but I don't know if I'll get another chance. I'll just have to move as quickly as I can. I don't even remember how long it's been since I last visited the cemetery. Mother's grave isn't that hard to find. It's guarded by a statue of an angel crying gracefully. Father's idea. Looking at how much pain the angel is in, it's clear that Father took Mother's death very badly. I can't bring myself to look away from the statue. I'm sorry, Father. The grave must be in terrible condition by now. I haven't had time to care for it. Hey, the grave is clean. Not just clean, but polished as well. Someone must be caring for it.
Step away from the grave!
Who's there?
I've had it with all of you grave robbers. Folk like you have no shame.
What are you talking about? I'm not a grave robber.
Of course you aren't, and I'm the... Hold on. I know you. You're Carmosa's stepdaughter.
I am. I suppose you know Carmosa.
No, Carmosa, of course not, but I sure know you.
Well, I guess you have an advantage over me then. I have no idea who you are.
Don't know? I live in the town. Folks there call me Mama Gide.
Madame Gide? As in the witch that everyone talks about?
So you have heard of me. The stories they tell are no exaggeration, though. Those half-wits label everything they don't understand as dangerous. Even more so, seeing as I'm a woman who's smarter than they are. I suppose it frightens them. Magid. Madame Gide, not Mama Gide. I read that wrong. Though it doesn't stop them from running to me every time they have a problem they can't fix. Personally, I prefer the term wise woman. It's a lot more appropriate, I think.
People can be so stupid sometimes. The instant they see something they don't understand, they fear it. It's ridiculous and close-minded.
Damn sure is. That's a very bitter outlook on life, though. I'm sad that someone so young already sees the world that way.
Sad, but you said exactly the same thing.
I'm all bitter, child. The world has thrown its worst at me, but you are young. You should be dreaming of doing great things, not going around calling people stupid and close-minded.
So I'm supposed to be a naive dreamer just because I'm young? That's ridiculous.
If you continue to argue with me, I'll turn you into a toad.
Hey, I thought you said you didn't know magic.
I only said the stories about me have been exaggerated, but that hardly matters now. After all, got you to stop arguing, didn't it?
True, but still. Why are you here anyway? You scared me when you shouted at me.
I was just visiting an old friend. I was on the way back from picking some herbs in the forest by the lake.
Oh, I've heard that the forest and the lake are special. My father used to tell me that they're magical.
And we're talking about magic again?
I can't help it. The atmosphere is so mysterious. It does feel as if this place is magical.
Do you believe in magic?
Maybe a little. My father raised me to believe, and I suppose I do miss my childhood when I could believe wholeheartedly. But there are so many strange and wonderful things in this world. Maybe magic really does exist.
Your reasoning makes sense.
And what? Does magic exist?
Well, that depends on what you consider magic. Years ago, people thought medicine was magic. Some still think that way. We label things we don't understand as magic, but then what does that mean? People call fairies magical, but we could also consider them normal creatures who live in the world like we do. Birds fly and fish breathe underwater, but we don't consider them to be magical. What makes fairies different?
So does that mean fairies really exist?
Well, it certainly would be someone wise to claim otherwise when we're in this forest. Perhaps you would like to come visit my shop the next time you're in town? Tomorrow, maybe?
Maybe. Is there a reason you're inviting me?
Do I need a reason? Maybe it's merely I like you, or we could talk about your mother.
Wait, you mean my mother?
Of course I did. Who do you think has been tending to her grave all this time? It surely wasn't you.
So you were friends with my mother?
There. Your questions can wait for tomorrow. I'm tired and I need to return home. Shouldn't you hurry home as well? You'll be in deep trouble if Camosa discovers you're gone. How did you know that I stuck out? Who knows? Maybe I saw it in my crystal ball. Maybe it's just that I know Camosa wouldn't let you wander around the woods on your own. I really want to see you tomorrow, but it won't be easy. Camosa usually keeps a watchful eye on me. Well then, you'll just have to think of something, won't you? You won't get anything out of life if you don't take a few risks. I guess so. I'll try and come tomorrow. Excellent. I'll see you then. Take care of yourself. That was certainly an unexpected meeting. What a character. I definitely want to speak with her again. For now, I'd better just concentrate on getting home. Magic or not, the witch was right about one thing. If Camosa finds I snuck out, I'll be in deep trouble. All clear in the main hall, and I don't hear anyone screaming my name. Looks like I'm back in time. Oh, pardon me, ma'am. I was just on my way out. Hey, I know you. You're that man that was to burst last night. Keep your voice low, miss'em. I'm trying to remain incognito here. What are you even doing here? Oh, nothing important enough to bother you. Just merely boring business stuff. Is that supposed to be a joke? Fine, keep your secret. Matters so much to you. Keep your secrets. I don't care enough to press the issue. Now, no need for you to pout over such a little thing. Do you have trouble seeing? I'm hardly pouting. Now get out. Fine, you got me. I came to tell Lady Camosa a fine bit of information. Didn't I already tell you to keep your secret? I know womanfolk pretty well. If you say you don't care, it means you do. You're trying my patience. Leave now. Fine. Couldn't hurt to be a little more friendly. What a disagreeable man. It's true I'm curious, but I want nothing to do with him. Camosa is interested in something. I'll figure it out on my own. Could ask someone else in the household if they know anything about this guy. Camosa is certainly out of the question, but maybe one of the sisters. Then again, I can never tell if they're on my side or not. It might be best to play dumb and see what happens. Leave it. It's probably best not to let anyone know I saw that man. If it's important, I'll find out eventually. I better get back to my room now. Dinner will be served soon, and someone will probably come looking for me. A few hours later. I'm so worn out. Of course, Camosa would order me to help the servants wash the dishes. Wasn't much more than a servant during dinner either. Unlike the servants, I don't get paid though. Honestly, I'd rather don't even invite me to dinner. Picking over the leftovers better than waiting on them. At least I had something to occupy my thoughts while I did chores. A lot happened today. First there was that talk I had with Sophia. I'm surprised that she was willing to open up to me. Usually she's so quiet and moody. She even smiled at me a few times during dinner and treated me better than usual. I wonder if she's reaching out for a friend. Maybe the two of us could be friends. I think so. Her circumstances aren't much better than mine, really. And at least I had a happy childhood. She's been mistreated all her life. I wonder if I'd be the same as her if I was in the same situation. But even though she's rough and cynical, she proved today that there's a smart and sensitive girl under all that. If she stopped pushing me away, I think I could grow to like her. Still, the talk with Sophia is nothing compared to meeting Madame Gade in the cemetery. What a woman. She's fascinating, but I just can't figure her out. She might look imposing, but she doesn't scare me. She feels familiar and trustworthy. I suppose she cared about my mother, otherwise she wouldn't be turning me to her grave. I should visit her in the town as soon as I get the chance, at least to thank her for keeping Mum's grave clean. And then there's the most mysterious event of the day, that weird man coming by the house. He was with Tobias last night, and now he's back to see Camosa? Something must be going on here. I wonder if Tobias knows why he came. Whoever that man was, he sure gets around. I only wish I knew what his information for Camosa was. It must be something important.
I'll have to dig deeper if I want to find out. So many questions in just one day. This might be my big chance to finally change my life. But I'm too tired to think about it right now. After everything I've done today, I'm feeling so worn out I can barely stand. I had hoped I'd have time to read a book before bed, but I need sleep. Maybe I'll have more energy tomorrow. Cinders, Cinders. Hello? Is someone there? We are here. Who are you? I can barely see you. Ah, but we can see you quite well. What is this place? Where am I? You're in your bed. So this is a dream? It is. Then none of this is real. I'm trying to persevere to the end of this night. But yes. I am tireder than I realized. So I just get to the end of this bit of dialogue and the new day, and then I'll call it. And I'll have to pick it up a different day. Sorry about that. Why? You're real and so are we. That's really enough. But who are you? You don't remember us? Should I? Do we know each other? We know you. You don't know us, but you know of us. You want to meet us? Come to the lake. The lake? And don't forget to bring a gift. It would be improper if you didn't. Now rest, darling. You deserve it, and you'll need all the strength you can get tomorrow. Okay. So we're gonna save. And apologies, but yeah. I'm quite literally falling asleep whilst reading that. So I think I need to get to bed. But I will try and pick this up again. I also want to pick up an area crimes, so we might do some weekend streams. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna make some peppermint tea and then go to bed. But thank you everyone for keeping me company. Apologies for falling asleep on you, and yeah, and Merry Christmas for those of you that do that thing. Happy Thursday, happy Friday for everyone else. And yeah, I've been Jo, otherwise known as Angel SK. I go to bed now, but thanks for watching. Good night.